Hey guys, today we're going to make a sea turtle from the side. So we're going to get his shell, his fins, and keep in mind, unlike a snapper turtle or a tortoise that lives on land, they're going to have big floppy fins, kind of like you think of a fish fin. All right, so we're going to go horizontal. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make an arc that bumps up high in the front and then swoops down low to the left. Okay. And now we're going to use a curved line to connect those two. That's the curve of his shell. And I'm going to give it a little edge. So I'm going to go with a line that's basically parallel to give it that edge of the shell. Once I've got this, I'm going to go and I'm going to add his fins. So I'm going to come down to the back, leave a little bit of room, and make like a flower petal or a leaf shape. You don't want to let it get too thin right here because then it will start to look a little strange. And then we're not going to come all the way up to the top because that's where his head's going to come from. But down a little bit below, we're going to go out, out, and then we're going to make that leaf shape to connect those. All right, now we need to get his head and his belly before we put on his other fins. So you're going to come sloping out and up. And then we're going to bump down. And a little bit inside the bottom right there, we're going to bump in again and let it stretch down to his fin. Now, as I look at that, his head looks kind of funny. So I'm going to come and I'm going to reshape that head just a little bit so it doesn't look like Grandpa's turtle. Give him his little circle for his eye. Then I'm going to follow this line just like I would go through it, but I can't see it. And I'm going to swoop underneath and come back up so that it would come back to a point a little bit behind the fin. So I've swooped down and over to the left. Now I'm going to add his other two fins. I'm going to curve to the right from part of the way down his neck. And then I'm going to curve back up with that leaf shape. Then over here, I'm going to go to the right with my curve and back up with that leaf shape. Now, I will say, he always looks strange when you start. Once you've got this much, you can go and you can say, oh, I think he needs a bigger shell, or I think he needs XYZ. However you're feeling. I do like to come in and add a pattern. And the way you can do that is just by putting trapezoids together. Yours may go in a very even way. You may line them up and stack them. Or you might want yours to be a different look. You might want it to look more haphazard. And that's totally fine too. But almost squares, but really more trapezoids is a way to go. So I'm going to go with squares up on the second row, like they're curving in. And then I'm going to make like part of a hexagon at the top. Then I'll come with my trapezoids in that row of his shell. Almost kind of looks like a sun. Okay, now that I've got this, I'm going to go in and I'm going to Sharpie. Once we've got it Sharpied, we can look at getting him some texture on his lovely little fins. All right, so I'm going to do the edge of the shell. Then I'm going to do the shell itself. Then I'm going to come and do the front fins. Just like we did in our starter drawing. Then I'm going to come and do his head. And I'll go with the new headline that I made. And down to touch the fin. Swoop back. And I'll stop at that back fin. And then I'm going to make his other two fins. Now I am going to shorten that up just a little bit so it looks more like it's further away and behind it, further up the paper. And there's his other one. All right, I'm going to give him his little eye. And it's up to you whether you want to leave a reflection or not, just to give him a little bit of life. And then I'll come and I'll add in my pattern. Now you can decide you may want them all to be smooth, even lines, or maybe you like the broken look. Maybe you want to go like something we did with our conch shell. Remember, if you want to do that, then the key is just to let up pressure in a random progression. So you're not always holding it at the same strength. You're almost kind of weakly holding it and going around. So here is his shell. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to give him some texture in his little legs. The way that I'm going to do that is the part that's facing me, the outside of his legs, what would be kind of like the top. I'm going to come and I'm going to add little rectangles that are loose and that fit together. So kind of rectangular, circly-ish shapes. So I'm going to go down the front. Now this one, we're seeing the inside and the front. So I'm going to curve down from the top of it to the bottom. And then on the outside part, the part that would be facing the top, if we laid him out on his belly, I'm going to add those little shapes. Now this one, we're only seeing that underside, so it doesn't get any texture. But his back one does. So we're going to come and give him those shapes to give him a little bit of added texture. So it feels like that reptilian skin. All right, now it's time for you to erase and add color. I will see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by.